All right. Welcome to Searching for Loot, where I break down the best Amazon finds I can find for you two to peruse and let me know if it's a yay or nay and what you'd change about it. So we're going to get into my Amazon wish list.
I hope you had some good ones last week.
I did.
I'm hoping for some good ones this week.
I'm hoping so too.
It's like my whole next paycheck has no bills attached to it. This could be a dangerous segment for me.
Oh, I should have thought about that. Shit. Okay. Well, I am ready to begin. Do I have my box up?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to put something up.
I've got it up.
You've got it up?
Yeah. I don't have a problem getting it up.
But
Okay. So for our first thing is something that is just a quality of life improvement.
It's a frisbee, a boomerang, and a what?
A wedge. No, so these are used as templates for area of effect spells. Yeah, so we've got cones and, like auras and things like that. I don't know specifically what the boomerang shaped one is for, but it's cool. I really like this area of effect one because, when we used to play tabletop, like with pen and paper, being able to figure out your area of effect spells was super hard. And this one shows you your diameter, and there's a couple different options there.
Nice.
Yeah. And they're translucent.
So you can still see the grid.
So you can see your grid right behind it, which makes it pretty stellar. So these run $24.99.
Okay,
for the set of 3.
Is it like that? What's that stuff called?
Like ruler plastic?
Yeah, something like that.
I would think that would be what it is.
Yeah. Some kind of plastic.
So this is for Savage Worlds, right? So
yeah.
Savage Worlds
does things a little differently.
Right, they call it small blast effect, medium blast, and large blast area. But because you can see through them to the grids, you can still use it for, 20-foot radius spells or whatnot.
And some of my different Amazon things aren't just for Dungeons and Dragons. There's some Cthulhu stuff in there. There's some Savage World stuff in there. It's for TTRPGs in general.
Right.
So
I like it.
I think that this cone shape one is more set up for Savage Worlds due to what I think the size equates to. But this one, the circle, I think could be multi-purpose depending on how big it actually is in person.
Savage Worlds actually has the templates in the book that you can trace onto paper and use. So it's probably the exact cone that they have in the book.
But I thought it was cool. And it gave me the idea that, being able to make these kind of translucent templates is pretty awesome. I wish if anybody knows out in the chat says, look at here, what this elbow L-shaped one is for, I'd love to know. I don't know if it's just for tracing out lines.
Yeah, so I was thinking that it was probably for, when you have those spells that like just shoot a blast of electricity down straight 5 foot wide. So I don't know why the bend is there, but
unless something ricochets.
Or it's your eldest daughter throwing Eldritch Blast to a creature she's never seen but knows is there.
Right.
I think she got us on the exact wording of the spell, that she could actually hit it because it doesn't say creature you can see. Creature within an area.
Yeah.
Or within range.
Kind of like, for some reason, I keep thinking it's got to be something with line of sight. But it can't be something with line of sight because it would be a straight thing.
Yeah. So if anybody has an idea as to what it's used for, let us know.
It's for grenades and you're supposed to stand it up.
Right. And that's like
it's an arc.
So for $24.99, what do we think?
So if that's, really firm, like 1/8 thick, see-through plastic, I kind of like them. We haven't played any Savage World stuff with a battle map. Every time we play, we've done virtual battle maps,
right?
But every time we play Savage World, it's either been virtual battle map or Theater of the Mind. But I would love to get into, put the time into it and have a really mini battle map centric terrain pieces game one weekend, you know.
Or we just like hang a camera from.
I would love to have
brilliant.
something like that.
So you just want to stream for 12 hours straight?
Right.
Down. Okay.
So I like them. I think they could be very useful. Tell me what I want to say next, John.
Don't like the price?
It's a little overpriced to me. I'm thinking I'd pay $12.99 for them.
Yeah. How many are with it?
It's just those 3.
Just these 3?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's different size cones and such. Like, I see where it has the different radiuses on the circle, and that's good. And then, like, the third thing, I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be for. Like, maybe one of our Savage Worlds veterans could chime in from chat. But I also foresee a problem with having to either pick up all the minis and put them on top of it in the same spots, or use it over and like look down through it.
Yeah. I think that's always been in actual play the problem with any template, right? It's like, all right, move all the things out of the way and then put this down and then put them back exactly where they were, or let me hold it over them. So while you were saying that, I just had this great thought. Let's create our own product that is like a lamp on an arm that stretches out over your table, right? And then you could just slide in.
Slides.
You slide in the 40-foot
projector
template, and it projects it down onto the table. You don't have to move terrain out of the way. And according to this week, you charge about $199 for it.
Yeah, easily. So I agree. I think it's too expensive, but I love the idea of it.
I do too, and I think we could probably go to Lowe's and pick up a really thin piece of plexi, whatever they call that stuff.
Maybe paint it with a
and then cut
translucent
it to
paint.
what we wanted. And
Yep. All right, next one. This is the one that I'm concerned might break our family into pieces.
Oh, like break us as
like
we
Monopoly
spend a bunch
pieces.
of money, or D&D Monopoly.
So I got this because I really want to play D&D Monopoly. I don't know why, but I do. And let me tell you, let me show you what's going on with this. So everything is like D&D themed, including the player pieces are like little miniatures. And the board is epic, and I don't care who you are. But
all right, but I think they could have taken this a little bit better, a little bit farther. So you just showed the board, and it was like free parking, and then go to jail still looks like go to jail, right? That could have been a dungeon over there. They could have, you're in the dungeon, not in jail.
Free parking should have been like the tavern.
Right. You could have gone another step with this, but.
So they do in some of them. Like this one's like Dragon's Lair and things like that. But I guess for the
like
standard apply to all places, like they did not. And I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But look at them. Look at the player pieces.
Right. And then, you could take any mini you already own and make it
use
your
it.
token.
It would be so cute. They're so cool.
I do like the metal minis.
That is cool.
So I want to know, the cards are encounters. Advance to the nearest dungeon.
Oh, so instead of chance, you have the encounter deck,
which is cool. So you want to know what the price is?
I'm gonna guess $44.95.
$40.46. That's something else.
I can see it on the screen behind that window. So not considerably different from if you just went and bought Monopoly.
Yeah.
Or if you went and bought a themed Monopoly, it seems right in line with those types of prices. So this one, I think the price is nailing the value.
Right. That's about the cost of a standard board game.
Yeah.
$30 to $40.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's cool that it's flavored for D&D.
So we'll take a game that conceivably never ends, put it on a board game that never ends.
Never ends.
What would be great is if we incorporated some kind of combat function where if you ever found yourself on the same space as one of the other players, you could have
fight 'em.
PvP combat.
But like, look what the railroads are like under mountain.
But then the regular,
King of
like,
Horrors.
early 20th century cop and the jail, like,
Yeah, they could have.
Free parking, the cop and the jail could just visiting and things like that could have been done better.
honestly, there are so many, like, D&D board games. And, like, we had, what was the name of the one you have that we played
In El Paso,
in El Paso?
it was The Legend of Drizzt.
Legend of Drizzt.
That was a good one.
It was really good, and
We should play that one time on stream. That's a good game.
the pieces inside you could repurpose and use as actual dungeon tiles if you wanted to.
Yep.
Like, I think that one's also, how much did you pay for it? Like 40, 50?
I want to say it was more like 70.
I think it was a little more expensive, but it had so many terrain pieces. I mean, like a ridiculous number of terrain pieces that you could reuse. So it was a good value. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I kind of think if you're wanting to play a board game and you're wanting to have Dungeons and Dragons theme to it, I think you would be better off going that route than doing Monopoly, but Dungeons
But
and
if you
Dragons
like to
version.
play Monopoly and you like those theme sets and you're into TTRPGs, this is as good a one as any.
Yeah.
The artwork is
Yeah.
great. I think they could have nailed those three corners a little bit better, more thematically. But, folks buy the NFL Monopoly or the Your Hometown Monopoly.
Right. I almost
and
bought
all
one of
this
those.
Stuff. And
I almost did.
I think if you like the game Monopoly and you like TTRPGs, this is pretty cool.
I
What
think the money.
But if you're looking for D&D board games, go somewhere else because this is just the art's really cool on it.
Yeah, some of the art does look really good. I like how the money is sort of designed.
It's stylized for it. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so we're gonna go with a lukewarm no on D&D Monopoly.
Whole Noddle in chat says Chaparly is my favorite D&D like board game. Chaparral?
I wonder if she got auto-corrected and meant to say Chaosal.
Could be.
I don't know.
All right, our last item.
Chaosal.
Chaosal.
What is Chaosal?
I got it in there, and it's a D&D like board game. You put everybody's got a character card, what your character can do. You gain things along the way, and there's an ultimate goal of getting to the castle, breaking down the door, and taking it back from the bad guy.
I think we've talked about.
But not only you're trying to take it back from the bad guy, you can be screwing because it is not cooperative.
Ah.
Like, so you're screwing with the other players, throwing spells at them, putting traps out for them and everything. And it can take a while to play, but it's a lot.
I think we've talked about playing it a few times. We've been over here as a group, and it's always been it takes too long. Whole Noddle's getting absolutely decimated.
Yes, I do.
All right, our last item, our most expensive item. Lego terrain builders. So I grabbed this because one very thing, like you can, they're about the size of the base of a mini,
Yeah, I mean, they're 1-inch squares.
and you can build them up into whatever terrain you want. So you get a couple different sizes, so you can do different stacking methods and things like that, but they fit together like Legos. But look at the cinematic shots of these buildings. Now, I'm assuming that there's no like archway pieces. There might be, but
Sold separately.
sold separately, probably. But it's such a cool way to build terrain and not have the pieces be permanent, but they still kind of look like bricks.
And you could conceivably like paint the top of them and say you're going from an urban to an outside. You could have the green topped ones out, and you're going back to an urban. You could put the green top ones inside of a wall. So it's not like,
Yeah.
I kind of like those.
I think they are super cool. And
And it's modular and like Legos, you could buy a set that is a castle and whatnot, and they are paintable.
mhm.
There are a lot of different terrain builders out there. Dwarven Forge,
Mm-hmm.
which are pretty modular, but usually they sell them in sets. Like here's the sewers set, and you can buy that. You can buy individual pieces from them online. They are expensive there, but really, really cool looking. Probably less expensive if you buy the unpainted versions. So I always look at the painted versions because...
Well, who wants... Yeah.
But I have not sprung for them. No. Because as cool as they look, they're expensive. So how much are we talking here?
$240.
Not quite. These run, depending on how you buy them, about $70, I believe. This one apparently is now out of stock, which I didn't notice when I was
apparently it's a good deal.
It's a great deal. It's free. So here's some of the other
sets.
A
pretty good price point.
So for some of the larger sets, they're $50 to $70, depending.
Mm-hmm. Those are sets that build a certain one thing, right? Not just a utilitarian set.
Correct.
And you can reuse these pieces in other things.
Correct. And they have different
But the more detailed
styles.
you get with your painting of them, the less reusable they become. Unless you just have this standard dungeon wall theme that you paint all of them. And
like these look like logs.
Lincoln logs.
Little Lincoln logs with little grass pieces and things like that. And it comes with like a grid board.
And those are already painted.
These are already painted. This is a $70 set. It's approximately about the same price as the one that we were looking at. So I think they're really cool, especially the gray ones, because you can add them into other world building sets as long as they follow that 1x1 grid system. But what do we think about modular building sets?
I like it. I think the price point is good. And, I just expressed on one of the earlier ones that really it would be nice to roll out a huge battle map and bring out the minis again and just really play that tactile with terrain kind of thing. And if we got to the point where we said, hey, yeah, let's do that one weekend, I would be looking for terrain pieces.
Yeah.
So we're not just drawing the bush on with a green pin on top of the Chessex battle map. I would, if we're going to go to the trouble of bringing out the minis and doing this again, I would want it to look epic. And so I'd probably find myself looking for things like this. And based on the variety they have and the interusability and the price points, I would absolutely go after these. They're better priced than the Dwarven Forge ones, but I don't think they're as detailed.
Right.
But I don't have to have a Cadillac.
No.
But
I'm perfectly fine with a Mazda.
Spend a couple $100 and could fill up the large Chessex map with some cool shit.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. John, what do you think about the Lego building, terrain building set?
I'm always in favor of Legos.
Yeah.
And
good Legos.
I mean, anybody who's played with them knows, like...
And having bought, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but having, around Christmas time, looking at Lego sets for my grandkids or nephews and nieces.
Or daughter.
Those sons of bitches is expensive. That's...
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of price you would pay for the Lego farmland set.
Which is this big.
Right. So...
Because I want the Harry Potter set.
Like Legos and like D&D, the prices.
Yeah.
Really good. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's why when she said Lego, I was like $240.
Yeah.
Because it is about a 4 or 5 times
Christmas,
the markup on.
And for Christmas, we just each buy each other a set that don't that kind of match up but aren't exactly the same. And then in January, we do one big building session and do a little one shot. And that way we all have built-in Christmas gifts.
Done.
Sold.
Check you off my list.
All right. Well, that was...
I would do so.